I think I started around, it's hard to pinpoint, but at least 6 or 7. It was not the T-ball phase, but the next phase after T-ball where it's actually like coach pitch. So I think it was about 7 years old. We could see the progression over the years, when, 8, 9, 10 to 11, and then we started realizing that, something could happen with this. So stepped up the effort, started doing summer leagues, travel leagues, and then one thing progressed right after another, and then we went into high school, and then straight from high school into the professional world of it. It was not a path that most players take. I'm a journeyman by all means. I've played in 9 different countries, 7, 8 different major league affiliates, but mostly in the minor leagues, and was lucky and fortunate enough to get a couple of years in the major leagues, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't one of those things that was handed to me. I was a lower round draft choice. I was an 18th round draft choice, so I wasn't one of the big signing bonus guys, so I actually had to work and prove myself that I deserve a shot. The Braves was a special thing to me because that was an organization and a team that I grew up watching as a kid, and that was our choice, being from Atlanta, around the Atlanta area. Dad taking me to Braves games at an early age. So to be able to put that uniform on that I grew up watching as a kid was, that by far was probably one of the highlights of my career. Our first road trip in San Francisco, just getting called up from AAA in Richmond, Virginia. Had to make the long journey from Richmond to San Francisco to play the Giants that night, left that morning. It was a 3.5 hour flight to San Francisco, and then straight off the plane, into the locker room, get my locker and everything set up, get the uniform, make sure everything fits okay. And then by the 7th inning, I was up, warming up in the bullpen, and got thrown into that game after traveling for 3 hours, and the first hitter I faced was none other than Barry Bonds. So I was pumped, but a little nervous, a little scared, I guess. But ended up doing fairly well, I think. I ended up throwing him, I think, 4 changeups, and he swung and missed 3 of them. So that was my first recorded major league strikeout. The way it's designed here in the U.S., if you get past a certain age, it's hard to continue to find, jobs and opportunities over here. So Japan called and was interested, and wanted to know if I wanted to come over and play for a team called the Rakuten Eagles, and this was in 2013, my first trip overseas with them in Japan. And it ended up being a great year. We had a heck of a team. Ended up first place in our division and going to the playoffs, and ended up winning the Japan Series and the championship in Japan in 2013, and that was Rakuten Eagles' first and only championship to this day. I didn't want to drag things out. I was ready to start a new career. I was 42 years old at that point in time, so I knew it was coming to an end, and I wanted to end it on my terms. Then I decided to go into trucking. I passed on a couple of coaching opportunities, and that was it. It was one of those things where it was kind of an easy decision to make because it was similar to what I've already done my whole, since I was 18 years old for 24 years, because I'm out, I'm traveling, I'm gone, but I'm able to also get back home and spend time with my family. That camaraderie as a community, as far as the drivers getting together and the driver's lounge and stuff like that, it's similar to the locker rooms in a baseball atmosphere. My experience as a trainer, it's been interesting to say the least. But it's all about patience, because I know where I started from. I came from a completely different industry, or into this industry from something completely different, so I had to learn exactly the same way these guys did. Absolutely knowing zero about the trucking industry. I'm competitive in nature, you know what I mean? And whatever it is I decide to do, whether it's baseball, it's in the trucking industry, it's like, I don't want to jump in, I don't want to just stick my toe in the water. It's something that if I decide to go into it, I want it to be a full-on 100% type situation.